Living from our heart, living from our core, living from our power, we all get more. We are powerful.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Transformation Summit. I'm Sue Erda. I'm your host for this event, and I'm the publisher at Powerful You Publishing. And I am so honored and grateful to have the opportunity to interview all these amazing authors. There are 20 authors who are in this book, The Art and Truth of Transformation for Women. And on this summit, they are here to share their stories and lessons of transformation with you to help ease your own journey of transformation. So I'm so happy that you're here listening to this today. And specifically right now, we're going to talk with Anne Franzese. She is a wonderful woman. I have known Anne for, I guess, a year and a half, 2 years now, something like that. And she was an author in one of our past books, sharing a different story. And so I'm really excited to be talking with her again today because I know she has great information that you want to hear. So I'm going to read a brief introduction of Anne, and then we'll get started talking with her. Anne is a leading authority in helping others cultivate emotional intelligence and shift their thinking to open doors to new possibilities and dreams. She has over 20 years experience in the corporate sector, specifically in sales and sales management, performance, business and organizational development, team building, leadership, and succession planning. Anne has served on nonprofit boards with roles in operations, capital campaigns, organizational design, and fundraising. In addition to degrees from University of Tennessee and Northwestern University Kellogg Graduate School of Management, Anne holds coaching certifications from International Coaching Federation, the Institute of Professional Excellence in Coaching, and Creating We Institute. Anne resides in Chicago suburbs with her sons and daughter. And Anne, I'm so happy to welcome you. How are you today?
Thank you. It's so good to be here. Nice
Yep.
to see you.
Nice to see you too. You know, I love your topic for today because, and I think this is why people are listening, moving past stuck. I think a lot of people get stuck. Sometimes I for sure get stuck and I don't know exactly why all the time. So the other part of your topic is 3 key secrets to shifting into transition and transformation, which is great because when we're stuck, got to make a move. So that's great. So, you know, I know that the topic of this book is around transformation. This summit is the Transformation Summit. Why is transformation, this theme of transformation, so important to you?
Well, Sue, in my work as a coach, I find that people want more in their life. They want better results at work. They want better relationships. They just want better. And what happens a lot is that we struggle sometimes, and we struggle with where do we want to go and how do we want to get there. And then as we're thinking about that, we get stuck. We get stuck in that place. So transformation, you know, it's vitally important for a robust life is what I believe. And so transformation meaning to change, right? It opens up. If we think about what change can do, and you know, if we look at that positive side of what change can evolve to, it allows us to grow and then we expand. So, you know, that's there's so much to transformation. There's so much that we can gain from it. It really lets us propel forward and push out of something, right?
Absolutely. And you know, have you found that it's different? Like you work with both corporate clients and individual clients, executives, whatever. Do you find that it's different working with corporations versus working with somebody personally on their transformation?
I find the process is the same. The common, you know, the language that one speaks is different. The things that they're looking at and the factors that they're looking at to move their business forward or to move an organization forward or to move a team forward. There's a similar process, and they have similar items that they get stuck on. However, you know, think of it when you first start a role in a company. As you start a role in a company, you don't know anything. You're just trying to start out. You're trying to meet people, understand the culture, go through all the things that are happening. And, you know, you're like, what am I doing here? Maybe I'm not fit for the role. All of these struggles start to happen, and then you start to doubt yourself. And so the same things happen in our personal life. So it's really a similarity. So
yeah. Interesting. So transformation, how has transformation played out for you in your life?
Well, it's played out several times in my life, and I think it does for many people. But in the book, I speak to my experience of divorce, and that was after 20 years of marriage. Okay, so that hands down has to be the most traumatic event that I've had in my life. I think for both myself and my spouse, and also you have to think about all the other players that endured that process with us, my kids, the in-laws, the relationships of my family and friends. It's very, very difficult. But what I started to look at is to, instead of looking at my divorce, at the end there, instead of looking to say, instead of sitting in it, what I did is I said, I don't want to make this a transition. I want to do something. I want to make it a transformation. What can I do now? How can I get back and get my ideas together? And so after being home and raising kids and also wearing a lot of hats, I started considering the things that I should do. Like, what did I like about my career and what didn't I like? And then what did I like about being at home and the leadership roles that I had, and pulled it all together. And though based on those insights, I mean, it's a journey that just didn't happen over like a few weeks, right? I mean, it takes a while, but when I made that decision, I just decided to go into coaching school and to enter that world of coaching. And what I found for me is that not only has it become a career change, and opened the doors to a career, but it also healed me in the process. So it's really been an amazing experience. And so, just like I'd say that caterpillar, you think about the caterpillar, and this caterpillar goes along, the caterpillar can be down on the surface and it can see everything there is to see on the surface, right? So it just crawls along and it sees everything that's there. And all of a sudden, once it morphs into this wonderful butterfly, it has these wings, and then that wings take it up, and now they can see the bird's eye view and go, wow, look at this world today and look at what there is to offer. And that's how I would visualize. That's how I visualize transformation.
Oh, wow. It sounds great. Yeah, butterflies, obviously, big sign of transformation for all of us. So what will listeners learn from you today, Anne?
Well, today I hope I want to take a deeper dive into how to create that transition to the transformation. And I want to give listeners some specific steps to move past stuck.
Okay, great, wonderful. So why is moving past stuck important on this journey of transformation?
Well, moving past stuck is important because it feels icky, right? It really just, it feels icky. We become complacent, and there's a word in Spanish called así, which means so. So when people talk to you and ask you a question, they'll say, how are you doing? How's life? And you go, oh, it's good. Yeah, it's good. If there's no robustness in that, it's just complacent. It's okay. We're just going through the flow. We're not really, we're just taking it that way. So what we want to do when we're feeling this way and we get in this position, we want to think about that. So I'd like to tell you a story about a client of mine. Okay, is that all right?
Yeah.
Okay. So I have a client, and and I had her early on in my early coaching career, and she was from Colorado, and her family was moving to Illinois, and she had been the main income earner for about 18 years. And then they were moving to Illinois for a career shift for her husband. And so now they had all decided that this would be a role reversal, and everybody was on board. She had a child who is 2 children in high school, and one of those children has a real life-threatening illness. So it's a long-term illness that this child has. And so it's they've done a lot of things in their life, but the problem she was having is that, when she first arrived and she went through and got everyone situated, because that's what she would do for work. She would get everything organized and get everybody together. But then when that lull came, she started going, oh my goodness, what about me? What's happening? She started self-doubting herself, like, what did I do? I gave up my career, I gave up my income. What would happen to me if something were to happen to my marriage? Because if I'm not feeling good about myself, what What if my spouse doesn't feel good about me, right? All of those things were working in her head. So basically what they did is we worked together for about 12 weeks, and we worked on her, and we worked on the inner voice that was talking to her, and we worked on her being able to bring up her voice and have conversations with her husband, because her husband, they had a wonderful relationship. Her ultimate goal was that they would, in old age, be sitting on a rocking porch hand in hand, and this was what life was. So they'd been through a lot, but this was her worry. So in essence, the outcome, all right, so the outcome of all of this was she was able to have the conversations with her husband. He said, I hear you, how can I help? And ultimately they created this agreement. So some people going into a marriage create a prenup. Basically, they created a midlife agreement that made her feel at peace, and then they had, so it really helped her to just be able to shift into her role and not worry, right? So that's how, moving past being stuck in a way, she could have floundered in there and not done anything about it, and who knows what would happen to the family relationship and the stress, right?
Sure.
When she's feeling.
Yeah, I got to tell you, I love the idea of that midlife agreement, because, even if you say you did create a prenup and you're, 25 years old, 30 years old, and now here comes 50 or 55 or whatever the age is, it's like things have changed. Life has shifted. You've both changed dramatically. So I love the idea of that.
Yeah. Yeah. And these ideas just evolved through that process, right? Thinking about it, talking, brainstorming what could happen and things. So, yeah.
Yeah. Terrific. So, okay, we're talking about getting unstuck. I know that, moving past that stuckness that we feel sometimes. Would you say that there are some common themes, like maybe some common mistakes people make, or common things that keep people stuck, and how the heck do we get out of them?
Yeah. Yeah. There are a lot of ways to move past stuck, but these are the ones, and it's going to be a little bit of a theme that will carry, one carries the other down. Okay. So, what I feel is that people fail to make a desired life plan. They fail to have that big picture, that aerial view, like the butterfly. They fail to look up at that, in that area, and say, what do I desire in life? What do I really, really want in life? Not just New Year's resolution, but what do I want? And how do I want my life to play out? And so a plan, just like if you're working with your financial planner early and trying to create your retirement and what you're doing, the same thing for your life, because people create bucket lists, people create those New Year resolutions. However, those come and pass sometimes. But if you create your plan and you revisit your plan, just like a business person would. So I would say be the CEO of your life plan, and create that, and fill in your resolution in there, and fill in the bucket list, and maybe time frames. What you create what you want, but it could be from 20s to 30s, 30s to 40s, 40s to 50s on up, and then you look and revisit, right, and add it on.
So how often should we revisit something? So you're saying create a master plan, and then go and fill it in with all the little stuff. And so a little thing might be, okay, so this summer, this is what I want it to look like for our family, or in the next 5 years, this is what I want it to look like for my career. Is it something like that?
Yeah. So those big buckets, you're like your children are home only a certain amount of time, and what would you like to do with them during high school? So you might have different trips that you travel on for high school, or different events that you want to do, and just build that out. So you build the master plan, and then you tweak that. You look at the timeline shorter. You would look at that on a year basis, and then you project at that year. Say, look at a 5-year. Oh, what did I do there? And then back down to the year, right? So and make it more manageable. So that's the first thing I think that people fail to do, is to understand that master plan. Understand. And it's not, you don't even have to do your plan, but I'm just saying, get your desire out there. Have a want to reach for that will motivate you to get up and say, let's say you're a young couple and you're like, I want kids in my life. How do I have kids in my life? How can we prepare ourselves to have kids in our life? Right? Yeah. So it's that type of thing. So that's one. And then the second one is the lack of believing in oneself. So like I said before, that inner voice that can get in there and it can often sabotage you, that keeps us playing small. It keeps us on the couch. It keeps us looking at the TV. It keeps us, you know, just not engaging. And so what we want to do is, if we can shift our perspective about and believe in ourselves. So the key there is believing in yourself, and believe that what you want, you can achieve. You don't have to do it all by yourself. Okay, see how this builds to the big picture, the desire that you want, and then believing in yourself. And when I talk about believing in yourself, it's the self-identity where it's not about who you are. Sometimes we think of people say, "Oh, tell me about you." Well, I'm Ann and I'm a coach or something, right? It's no, my name is not me, my title is not me, but who, in order to understand where you want to go and have this robust life, understand who you are at your core. And an example on that would be that when, especially, this was with my kids, when I was home with my kids, they were at very young ages. We all do this. We're driving them back and forth to all these activities. Like we're driving them soccer, art, whatever activities. There are numerous activities that we're driving them to all the time. And finally, I started thinking, I'm driving my kids to all these activities so they can learn and they can grow, and they're so excited. And I said, what activity can I do? So I actually then decided to step out. I was not an athlete growing up, but in my mid to late 30s, I picked up the game of tennis. I started my tennis journey. And I've been doing that tennis journey for 15 years. I play with a coach, and every two to three times a week, and I play on a team, and I've been doing that all along. And based on that journey, it allowed me to go in, and then I took up leadership roles in different ways. And so you don't know where it takes you to when you get to move, right? Move past stuck. So that's learning to believe in yourself, is by just trying something and what your wishes are, and not what other people tell you, right? So the third one is a common mistake, is that people disengage in life. So when they're not believing in themselves, right, they're disengaging, they're retreating, they're avoiding others. We probably have that friend that we call, and they're like, you call her 5 times, you call her several times that week, and she just doesn't answer, right? And she doesn't answer because she doesn't feel good. Something's happened, she doesn't feel good, and she needs to sink inside of that right now. I'm not saying that you don't need to, but what I'm saying is that our mind is telling us that if we're ashamed or embarrassed or, have anything that is causing us to feel bad about ourselves, that our brain goes into fight or flight. And we go into fight or flight, it does give our brain a negative bias. So the best key here, the tip, is to not disengage, but engage. Like, get up and go for a walk, ask someone to go for coffee, join a group, whatever it might be. So those are the 3 kind of big items. There are a lot of things to help you get unstuck, but I wanted to kind of bring you to have your motivation with that desire. And if you can create a plan, great. If you can at least create your big desire that you want out of life and you want to work towards it, and then believe in yourself that you can go do it, and then engage and start doing it.
Yeah, just do something, right? Anything, just get started. Yep, absolutely. That's great. I love that you're playing tennis and that you didn't even play as a kid, because it's so good, because it's a whole body workout, really. And it's social.
Yes, it gives me all of those things. I love every bit of it, and because I love it, I keep it in my life. If I didn't love it, I discard it, right? But again, we have to, and I go through this with some of my clients, especially because even if they want to think about, if they're a business client, they still need to have a balanced life. And so I talk about, what are you doing outside of work? And with exercise, we get into, just because you're exercising, in order to be consistent in exercising, we need to know how we tick, how our brain operates. Yeah. And some people are really good at running, just getting out there and going to run. I've learned I'm not a solo exerciser. I need the accountability to be there, and I need the social interaction to be there, and then I show up.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
We have to know ourselves. Absolutely. Anne, I know that I've heard you talk about living life in color. So what does that mean?
Well, so it kind of brings us all this together. It simply means to be able to shift from black and white to color. And if you play with me a little bit, well, with the movie The Wizard of Oz, right? We saw that it was in black and white and we shift to color. And what a world that she could go and explore in, right? So when we truly engage in life that we want to live and embrace those that we want in our life, okay, because we get to choose the people that come into our life, right? It takes us a while to learn that, but we choose our chosen tribe. And so here Dorothy chooses the 10 man, right, who's out seeking a heart. She wants to help him go seek his heart. She chooses a lion to go seek courage. She chooses a scarecrow to go seek the brain. And just like us, we can move along on our yellow brick road. And then when we come to the end and when we get in front of the great big Oz, right, we can find that we all possess what we think that we lack. Does that make sense to you?
That it's already in us? Is that
It's in us already. We have the ability. We keep ourselves there. We do it. It's our head that's telling our heart. And we either go and keep ourselves from where we want to move. That's why sometimes it doesn't matter. I think that I believe that ultimately we'll get around to where we're supposed to be, but sometimes we meander on a journey that we might not have needed to go on, but we do go on, and that's okay too. I think of it as like the doors, like door number 1, door number 2, and door number 3. We get to a point where we want to make a decision in our life and we go, maybe I should take door number 1. So you go down door number 1 for a while, and then you go, I don't know about door number 1. So that's okay. Door number 2 is still available, and number 3. And then you have that chance, but that just makes your life colorful, and it gives you more things into your life. So to be a life in color is so that you can go and design it and do it and dream it, aspire it, believe it, and go for it. And that's what I mean by living a life in color.
Awesome. I love that. So for anybody that's listening right now that has listened to you and you gave them some great information what they can do, but say they're feeling stuck, what is one simple thing that they should do right now today to just get out of that stuckness?
The best thing that you can do is, well, I'm going to give you 2 things. Okay. So first is to try to reframe what you're saying in your mind. Okay. Reframe, like, okay, why am I feeling this way? So if we are saying something in a certain way, then what that does is it keeps us on one side of the fence, not doing anything. But the other way that our brain, if we see the opportunity in it, there's a problem situation and we see that it's not solvable, then we need to say, what's the opportunity here? And get over the fence. All right. And that's the same as when we tell ourselves, here are a couple examples, like we're tired. Okay, we're tired. We get tired a lot, right? We all get tired a lot. Right? So we might say, if we say to ourselves, I'm exhausted. Wow, that's pretty heavy, right? But if we say, you know what, I really need to rest. Where's the shift? So there's the shift there. So do things like that. Even like if you like beating yourself up, like, oh boy, I forgot that. But instead say, you know what, next time I'll make sure I set a reminder.
There you go.
So look for those ways. And then now that you've put yourself into that, hey, I'm good, you're ready to go. And then
Awesome.
you can do it. Yeah.
Feeling less stuck. Absolutely. That's great. So Anne, this has been wonderful. I really appreciate this because I certainly, this year, 2020 is where we are. It's been a weird year for a lot of us and a lot of people get stuck in different things. So that's awesome information that you've given us. Thank you. And I know you have a gift for our listeners. Would you please tell us about that and how they can get that and also learn more about you?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Well, I understand the power of coaching firsthand. Going through the training and doing that, and I always keep a coach or a mentor in my life. So I would like to extend and forward to everyone that's viewing this the opportunity for a 30-minute discovery call to allow them to bring forward any of their stuckness that they want to talk about, or if they want to think about what kind of plan they might want to design, whatever is on their mind, to give you the space. I just want them to have the space to see how coaching works and what it's about and what it could mean to them. All right. So here's where they can reach. They can log on and book a session with me. You can go to journeytosuccessforwomen.com. So it's journeytosuccessforwomen.com. And my main website is journeytosuccess.me, but this is a special link for them to go to. Okay. And I do want to say to you that becoming an author was something that was never in my wheelhouse. I had never thought that I might become an author. But being on the coaching journey, I started, things started, like seeds started to be planted. Before I met you, and I think I mentioned this before, is I was on an airplane, this is like 5 years ago, and a woman was talking to me and she had mentioned your group. But I'm just like, okay, I didn't really think much about it. And she's an interior designer, but it was just our conversation that we had. And then now here we are, and these topics resonated with the things that I'm doing. And it has been such a way for me to fine tune my voice and really get into what's important. And I think that that's why I love the role as a coach, because everyone else, to give people that chance to fine tune their voice, and that's what you're doing. You're allowing that. So
well, thank you. Thanks for saying that. And obviously you're doing that too. It's part of the process, right? We find each other when we need each other, and we help each other expand and grow. So thank you so much for that. I appreciate you being a part of this and sharing another story, because your last story is wonderful. This story in this book, The Art and Truth of Transformation for Women, also a wonderful story of your transformation. So I appreciate you so much, Anne. Thanks so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. And listeners, thank you. Thank you for being here, because I know you are on your own journey of transformation. That is why you're here. That's why you're listening. Maybe today you're listening to Anne because you have been stuck. You've been feeling that, and she gave you some great ways to get unstuck. So definitely do what she suggested, and also continue to listen to this summit. There are some just terrific women here to share really great advice with you and some things that you can do. So, and also buy this book, The Art and Truth of Transformation for Women, on launch day, which is October 20th. The website is transformation-book.com. When you go to the website, you will be able to, we'll guide you to Amazon to buy the book, and then you'll come back with your Amazon receipt number. And when you plug that in, you'll get access to 35 or more free gifts, which are great gifts from our authors and partners, and you will love them. So you get this wonderful book full of amazing stories. You get 35 or more gifts. You get to choose if you want all of them, if you want 3 of them, whatever you want, they're gifts. So definitely do that. And we wish you all a beautiful day and an awesome journey of transformation. Bye, everybody.